Have you ever heard the story of Abigail? She lives with her husband Nabal, who is a very rich man with many great herds. King David is in the wilderness near to them and hears that Nabal and his men are doing shearing. And so David sends his men to ask for some food or from some drink because shearing time is a time of great festivity, and David's men had protected his shepherds, Nabal's shepherds, when they had been out in the land with their herds. David's men go and they relay all of this and ask for some food, and Nabal does not care, wants to hear none of it, and sends them back saying, I don't know who this David is, but I don't really care. Some of the servants hear this and go to Nabal's wife, Abigail, and explain that this is a big problem because David's men had actually protected them when they were out in the fields. She sees the problem that her husband is creating and tells her people to load up her carts with food and wine and grain and goes to meet David. At this point, David's men had come back to him and he is angry. When Abigail arrives, he is just finishing this promise that by the time this raid, this attack on Nabal is over, all of his men will be dead and there will be no males left. Abigail begs for his forgiveness. She says, my husband Nabal, his name means a fool. He is a man of folly. I have brought you all of these things. My shepherds have told me how good your men were to them. And then she kind of flatters David and she says, you are too good to sully your hands with this blood. Be the better man. I know you have it in you. So David says, okay, he takes the goods. All is forgiven. Abigail goes home and finds her husband Nabal at a big party. He's thrown a party for himself and he's drunk. And she thinks, I'm not telling him this now. I will wait until morning. Morning comes, he is sober, and she tells him this, and we're told that his heart goes to stone. It is hardened within him, and one translation says it dies. 10 days later, the Lord strikes him dead. And then David hears this, calls for Abigail, and she goes from being the wife of a fool to the wife of a king.